there is another dimension, beyond that which is knowledge of man. It is a dimension as vast as space, and as limitless as infinity. It is a blackness between the sun and the moon, between science and superstition, and it lies between all of man's fears and the summit of his ability. This is the space of imagination. It is an area which we call the Sci-fi Zone. In space, far away from our world, the year is 2020, and the journey we are about to embark on could be our own. Welcome back to the Sci-fi Zone, and tonight we have a special episode for you as we descend into the erotic thriller that is Femalien, the Cosmic Crush, directed by Lindsay Schmitz. So again, this is a sequel. In classic bad movie night fashion, I did not watch the first movie. Let's dive into this. The Alterians are here to keep the balance of the universe together. When an ancient hunger is awakened in the far reaches of space, the Alterian High Council sends ordained Collector Maxy Prime to investigate with her nimble sidekick, Gabby Minx. There they discover a professor and her students in the grips of the pleasure pods, a mega-parasite who's giving everyone good vibrations, but slowly sapping them of their very essence. Will they put an end to this tentacle terror? Or will they succumb to the beast's cosmic crush? Yeah, this is some Blue Moon level stuff going on here. Right out of the gate, the movie does look cool. The spaceships look cool, the lighting looks cool, the sets are cool, fun miniature work is in here, very cool stuff. Miniatures came out really well, I enjoyed that. And I was like, we're off to a good start here. Then the sexy bass line drops in.
I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
And then followed up by some sex jokes.
Pack a full medikit. We'll be tackling a thick bush.
And I was like, oh shit. I think we have kind of slid in here to some Skinamax content. And I was right. This is some Skinamax kind of content. At first I thought it was going to be just a few scenes, but very quickly we overrun the plot with this erotic content. So, this professor, it's kind of like on an archaeological mission for this tomb to uncover this ancient kind of like civilization. But there is an erotic and dangerous evil force at play here. The worm, or the tentacle monster. Well, I can't really complain about this one, everyone. We finally get some tentacle action, and a lot of it. Although I would have liked for some practical tentacle action, but, we can't have it all, you know what I mean? This team is made up of some students who seem more than a little lost, with the professor leading the way. Look, even in the future, they still have the flashlight app.
Re-click.
Yeah, and we're working the lower levels, but they appear to open to a crude tunnel system.
Pretty timeless, I guess. This movie is fairly hot. It is spicy hot. I mean, there are so many erotic scenes in this thing. And when I say basically every scene is an erotic scene, that is not an exaggeration. We even get questionable hot scenes. And what I mean by that is, here, I'll give you an example. Like this scene here. There's this character changing in front of two other people. but it's not in like any erotic fashion. They're literally just changing outfits, and I don't understand why they're doing that. Like, what is this movie? Why are they randomly changing in front of their friends?
I couldn't boost. Heiko saved me with her power hug.
I must confess it would have worked with a mere touch of the hand, but I find your form pleasing, and I took advantage of the situation.
I guess in the future we finally made it in regards to full nudity acceptance. It could happen. So Maxy Prime is a collector of sorts. Her job with her sidekick is to bring peace to the unhinged erotic elements in the universe. They're there to keep stuff in order. A balance, if you would. And this giant tentacle monster really has knocked the universe out of sync with its erotic rhythms and powers. The council sends Maxy out into the universe to deal with this. And interesting enough, in this council scene, we have a line about only touching if welcomed, only engaging erotically and physically with someone if welcomed. And that was cool. I was surprised by that. It's important to state boundaries, especially when it comes to erotic scenes and erotic situations.
Remembering always the Alterian credo. Touch not lest ye be touched. Correct, Collector 4878.
I see our faith in you was not ill-founded.
And it's nice to see adult entertainers injecting that info into a movie like this, frankly. So many adult men seem to have a hard time grasping these concepts. I know, it's crazy. We get lots of tentacle action in this movie as the creature starts to turn everyone into their followers.
Who's the precious little pod?
Jeets is their only male character, who finds himself deep in trouble. Not because of the erotic elements or the beautiful beings he's coming into contact with, but mainly because of the Banksy tattoo on his chest. Yeah, do you see that? I would have given him a pass if it was a King Robo tat. One love, Robo.
Let there be light.
So trouble starts to set in classic Skinamax style. They move into the temple and set up a little food station. I guess they can breathe on this planet. They don't seem to have any kind of like respirators or any kind of helmets really at all in this movie, so I guess air isn't really questionable at this point in space. I don't know if I would eat in this place, but then again, what do I know about alien caves? It seems a little grimy in there. And as this movie goes on, it gets a little harder to find the plot. It keeps getting overrun by the erotic scenes. Well, there comes a point where Maxy and her team realize they have to destroy this tentacle creature in order to save the universe. And the best way to go about this apparently is to do an erotic dance, which in turn seems to be the best way to defeat this creature. Who would have guessed? I mean, I was certainly hypnotized by it, so it must have had some kind of effect, right? A couple qualms I did have with this movie. I would have liked to see some different body types represented here. After all, it is 2022, and we get into like adult contact. It's important to have representation, and it did lack that, which is kind of a shame, you know? The special effects are fun. The CGI is pretty effective when used. I would have liked a few more locations because the temple gets old after a while and stale when you spend so much time on this one set. It just starts to wear down on the viewer, you know? Again, the lighting is great in this. I was really surprised. Lots of gels were used that really set a nice tone, a fun element that really reflected the story well, so that was great. I probably should have saved this one for watching for the plot. But it does have science fiction elements, so I guess it fits in here. So would I recommend this for viewing by oneself? It depends on where you fall on this kind of like erotic Skinamax kind of content. It is here in this movie and there's a lot of it. Not a lot of plot. Not that I don't mind the erotic elements and think they're cool, I just would have like balanced it out more personally, had more story with it. You can still have these things and have a fun time and have like an interesting movie, but literally every scene they're falling into these erotic situations, and it's just like kind of like nonsensical, you know. So would I watch it? I maybe if it's your thing. It was fun, like there were fun moments, and I thought like the acting was pretty good considering we have adult performers who probably aren't really professional actors. They pulled it off well though. I gotta give them props. They did a good job with some of these characters, especially with some of these lines. They're hard to deliver in these fashions, you know. Would I watch it as a group? I think you can. It depends how comfortable you are with your friends watching something like this, because there are a lot of those kind of on the line erotic scenes, and yeah, you got to be close with the people you're watching them with. I think they get that across. But hey, you know, you do you, whatever. Yeah, you could watch it with friends. Why not? Yeah, this was a weird movie. I didn't expect it to be so heavy on the erotic elements. I knew that was going to be in here, but I didn't know it was going to just be like every single scene and every single moment. And it was a different take. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll explore some more of these. I don't know. I want my science fiction. I want my science fiction elements. You know, that's what I'm here for. Science fiction. Well, some of the scenes are pretty steamy though. Yeah. Steamy space stuff. That's what we get with this. Too bad you have to be rich to go in space. You know? You have to be a rich billionaire like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. Fucking asshole, basically. It's a shame. It's a real shame. An ancient hunger awakens. The High Council must convene. Maxy Prime accepts the mission. A pleasure pod that hungers. An erotic journey into the Sci-fi Zone.